Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
And in your community. And I want to thank all of you for showing up, speaking up, and yes, acting up. We're here today to join you in protest to the killing, murder, and acts of violence against black and brown people.
Black lives matter. 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 Thank you guys. Thank you so much, Denise. Hi, my name is Somali, and I'm here to tell you about my experience of what's going on here today. Oh, I'm sorry, I cried. I've had a lot of my white friends DM me, text me, what can I do to help? And I'm going to give you 3 easy steps on how you can help, because here's the fact of the matter. As a black person, it is not my job to educate you. It is not. We have been living with this systemic racism for all our lives, so please, if you are an ally, here's what you can do. 1, educate yourself. We have resources for a reason. We have phones, computers, just Google something, please. All the information is out there for you to use. 2, talk about the problem. We've been quiet for so long, our voices have been muted for so long, and I am tired. I am tired of it, so please just start the conversation. Start the dialogue. It is so simple. It is so simple. And 3, just please be kind to each other. At the end of the day, we are all human beings, despite gender, sexuality, creed, nationality, race, color. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't. I'm sorry, that's a little overwhelming. And I'll leave you with this. I am so tired of seeing my black brothers and sisters murdered. I am. Thank you. I don't want to worry about my brother jogging down the street. I don't want to worry about my sister picking up groceries. I don't want to worry anymore. So please, if you are a white ally, just an ally in general, do your part. Utilize social media for good. It's not enough to say you're not a racist. You have to be anti-racist.
that there's a lot of elected officials up here, and with all due respect, I do respect that you guys are here, but there's so many of you that you guys all can't speak. I really want to center my black voice today, because the number one thing that elected officials can do, look at the laws that were created in the 60s and 70s that haven't been reversed yet. Start to reverse them. Start to really look at them deeply and bring them out and say, I need to reverse this and this and this. All the legislators, all the elected officials, you're elected for a reason, and now you are governing black and brown communities. So over there, highest, we see all of you guys. So please, that's the best thing you guys can do for us. Who's next?
My name is Amaryllis. I have lived in the state of Maine for the majority of my life. I have seen terrible stuff happen throughout this state. I have heard horrendous things. I have been there. I have been the person who is being hated upon, and I cannot tell you how empowered I feel to see all of you out here today. To see all of you out here today. I say I am tired a lot, but when I say I am tired of waking up every morning and seeing which black person was killed today, which white people were not held accountable today. I am tired of being told, but when I talk about police violence, about the discrimination we face, I am tired of going on social media and having people tell me that my voice does not matter. My voice does matter. When I say Black Lives Matter, I mean Black Lives Matter right now. I mean tomorrow, yesterday, the day after that.
Hello, my name is D, and I'm just going to be sharing a few words from W.E. Du Bois. It is one small king. So, I am the small king. I am black. I am darkening with the song I am happening to wrong. I will be black as blackness kind. The blacker the mantle, the mightier the man. For blackness was ancient ere whiteness began. I am dubbing God in night. I am sobbing hell in white. I am the small king, and I am black. Thank you.
Hello there, my name is Alexis. I'm here today to talk about my experience of being a person of color in Maine. I moved to Maine when I was 11 years old in 1994. The town I moved to was in rural Maine, about 2.5 hours north of here, a small town called Freedom. The irony of that is that while living there, it did not feel free. Today I want to challenge your concept of freedom. By definition, it is the right to act, think, and speak as one wants without any restraint. You hear this and probably agree. But know that this right doesn't apply to all Americans. It's a tale of two cities, more like the tale of two constitutions. While thinking about what freedom meant to me today, by definition, the word right changed words for those who have power. Freedom at this time is granted to those who possess power. Systematically, this is how America operates, and it is so insidious. To give you an idea of how insidious racism is, I want to share a personal, tragic, and heartbreaking story with you. It's very personal. And it also addresses white privilege. I didn't understand what white privilege was until I moved to Maine. My mom is white and my dad is black. I was socialized in a white area. I was socialized by a white woman. And once moving to Maine, this gave me a better idea of what privilege really was. I'm a light-skinned woman and I benefit from white privilege. And I keep speaking out about this on social media and asking white people to challenge their white privilege. You may not know how to do that, but I'm going to explain to you today how I did that. It takes a lot to look in the mirror and say, what about the system that I live in benefits me? I took a lot for granted. Moving up here, it was the first time I had white classmates. And I wanted them to like me. I wanted them to love me. And in the act of doing that, of wanting their approval, of wanting their acceptance, I casted my brown and black brothers to the side, my black and brown brothers and sisters to the side. I allowed them to make jokes. I allowed them to put their idea of what a black person is supposed to be, act, and feel onto me, and I portrayed that. And that is an act of violence against people of color and black people. So when you're challenging your privilege, please take a look at how you benefit. It's this more than just being wealthy. There are poor white people who still benefit from white privilege. We cannot have equality without equity. And equity refers to proportional representation in all aspects of our society, which we do not have right now. And in order to gain equity, you need to look into your white privilege, and you need to give up your spot at the table. You need to say, there's enough of me out there, but there's not enough of us out there.
There we go. We're still getting you to whoever wants to speak to make sure that they have the platform. You know, I got a phone call. I'm an organizer with Maine Youth Justice, and we're trying to close down the juvenile facility in South Portland. There are 27 kids left inside of there. 27. And people wonder why are you trying to close down that facility? Because I was a kid that was in there. I was in there for 18 months. And I got out. And I was like, why did I get punished for my actions when the circumstances that I was in, nobody looked at and said, what's bothering this kid? Rather than giving them the time and locking them up and then giving him a criminal record so he could be marginalized and so he doesn't get housing and he doesn't get jobs and stuff like that. So I started working. I started doing performances all around the state. Then I did a performance at the State House, and I talked about this corrupt system. The governor wouldn't come. He didn't even want to look at us. But then we went to the White House and we did it there. I'm about the White House, whoa, my bad. The DC, the Senate House of DC, and we did it there. Then we started doing it at schools and whatnot. But now I work in the background, so when I got a phone call and someone told me that there's lots of white police officers in Lewiston Kennedy Park, a lot of them, they were on every street. I didn't make it a race thing, but that's dangerous. That's mad dangerous for all black youth. That's not okay. That is not okay. Not okay. I'm talking to every chief police officer. That is not okay. That is scary. I don't know, man. I don't got nothing else to say. Anybody else?
No, this can.
We can no longer accept polite statements from white politicians, corporations, agencies about the inhumane way the murder of African Americans makes them feel when they go on to work each and every day to uphold a system that benefits themselves and perpetuates their own success. We can no longer take statements if you think that that is the way that you build a relationship with our communities. We can no longer take your statements if you think that that is the only action that is needed to stop the brutal violence, the genocide against African Americans that have been waged against us since you stole this land from the indigenous native people. We no longer want your statement if you will use it to build your own resume and your political careers. We no longer want your statements if you release it on Facebook, but you never give it any voice when you're speaking to the Chamber of Commerce. You can keep your statement if that means you can ignore me in the hallways of the workplace, that you can ignore my kids in your schools, that you cannot have a curriculum that best reflects the history of this country and the enslavement in which your economy was built. You can keep your statement if it's being used to silence and kill and murder and arrest and detain the people that you owe your very lives to.
Yeah.
But put out your statement if it reveals a truth that you live by and expresses the way that you will be held accountable in all of your actions to end racism and xenophobia and Islamophobia. If that statement reveals your truth of how you will become accountable, how you will be held to a standard that allows us to vote you out of office, then release your statement. Use your voice to speak what you are going to do to stop voter suppression, to stop the gentrification, to stop the elimination of racial and health disparities, and to stop mass incarceration. Use your statement for that. Data that was just released by the Centers for Disease Control show that the new infection rate for Black African Americans in Maine is 22.5% of the total for whom race is known. 22.53% of the infection is Black African American. Last week, it was 20.7. You can do the math. The rate for people of color is now 27.45%. Last week, it was 25%. Now, well over 1 in 4 people who have COVID in Maine is a person of color, even when there are only 1 in 20 Mainers a person of color. Well over 1 in 5 people who have COVID in Maine is Black. I'll say that again. Well over 1 in 5 people who have COVID in Maine is Black, even though only 1 in 60 Mainers are Black. So if you are here tonight, if you have to write a statement right now, send it to the governor, send it to the Speaker of the House, send it to the Senate President, send it to the Maine Municipal Association, send it to the Sheriff's Association, send it to every law enforcement agency in this state, send your statement to them, and then vote them out of office if they don't do anything about it. Hello, everybody. This is my daughter, Gianna. Just wanted to say really quick, as a mother to 2 beautiful, smart, Black children. I don't know what it's like to be Black, but I do know what it's like to try to raise one. And I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm doing my best. Every voice spoken against racism chips away at his power. We cannot remain silent. And I am not afraid for my babies. Because they are strong, they will be educated, and they will be aware. I will fight for you, Gianna. I will fight for you, my son. I will fight for every single one that does not have a voice. They shoot, you stand behind me, damn it. Alright? I love you, my kings and queens. Let's not be silent. Let's keep it peaceful. Gianna, what are you proud to be? Black! What are you proud to be, Gigi? Black! What are you proud to be? Black! Woo! Gay girl, I'm so proud of you! There are a lot of people here. Damn. Hey y'all, I'm Cassie. I grew up in Cape Elizabeth, a very white town. I grew up not knowing how to be Black. And it wasn't until, as a 30-year-old college student, learning in my sociology class about W.E.B. Du Bois and double consciousness, that the feelings that I had growing up, not knowing who I'm supposed to be because I grew up with white people who expect me to be a certain way, that's normal. I was not the only one that felt that way, and I didn't know until I was 30 years old. My husband is overseas right now, in the Middle East fighting. He's in the military. And he can't really see the stuff going on over here, so I try to fill him in as much as possible. And the other day he said to me that he feels sorry that he can't be here for me, and he feels sorry for everything that's going on. And he's the one in the military fighting. He feels bad for us and everything that we're going through. I was nervous too. I have 3 kids. My boys are almost 11 and 6. And I was nervous to show them some of the videos that I've been watching, but I decided to do it anyways. And at the end of the videos, my 6-year-old looked up at me and said, "Mommy, I don't want to be shot by the cops." up for my husband, and I'm going to speak up for my kids, and we're not going to stop.
Black youth, y'all want to speak out, let me know, please.
Hi. So I want to give my speech. I can't even believe black people are here today to tell people to stop murdering us. That is unbelievable. That is crazy. Black people have been struggling since the first slave ship arrived in the United States. That is crazy. There should be a change by now. But this is a systemic and institutional issue that needs to be addressed. I came to this country when I was 7 years old after living in a refugee camp, and people always told me this is the greatest country in the world. I don't believe that right now. Every day I wake up to videos of black people being murdered by the police. I train young black boys on what to do if the police stops them. I had to train my 6-year-old nephew on what to do. That is crazy. But that's the kind of fear black people are living in. My nephew, a week ago, he drew a picture of an officer killing a black person. My niece, she drew a picture of George Floyd's mother, and she drew an eye with a teardrop, and she was like, that's his mother crying. She didn't even see the video, but she heard about it. That is crazy. That is so horrific. No kid should ever go through that. Every single day, we're waking up to videos of black people being murdered. Sometimes these incidents are not even reported because people don't record them. I have a family member who was literally restrained by a Portland police officer, and she still has an injury until today. I have to take care of her. She has a neck injury. The Portland police officer was not held accountable. This person, they had to scream, I have asthma, in order to have the officer get off them. That is not okay at all. I never shared this publicly, but I felt like I needed to today. We, black people, deserve to be treated like human beings. We're sick and tired of being murdered. We deserve to be treated like human beings, and only white people can dismantle white supremacy. It is not up to black people to dismantle white supremacy because we did not create the system. White people did. I know everybody is like upset about Target being broken into and all that stuff. Yeah, I disagree with that too. I don't want stores to be broken into, but I also understand why people are doing these things because they're not being heard. I want everybody to come together. I want things to change. I want black people to be treated like human beings. Every time an officer is behind me during a traffic stop, I'm literally like, oh, stop, act normal, turn down the music. Like, I didn't even notice that until a week ago. Like, it really hit me really hard. I was like, wow, this is not normal. White people don't have to do that. White kids, they don't have to fear for their lives every single day. Black kids do. You can't just come to a protest and hold a sign that says Black Lives Matter. That's not going to do anything to help black people. You can't just come to protest and go home and say, oh, well, I did something good today. No, you have to change things within your own community. We literally have a president who's literally treating people that look differently, like me, a Muslim person, immigrants, black. He's literally telling people to be discriminatory towards others. He literally said, shoot the people that are breaking into stores. That's not acceptable. We should understand why people are doing this and to try to resolve that. I want peace. I want peace. I am all about peace. I literally studied Dr. King's principle, civil disobedience. I agree with that. Black people, take a knee right now, you guys. Take a knee. Take a knee. Everybody take a knee, please. When Colin Kaepernick, when he did this, what did they do? They kicked him out of the NFL. He was protesting against police brutality, and they kicked him out of the NFL. Whatever way we protest, people have a problem with it. That's why people are rioting right now. But what can we do to resolve these issues? We must all come together. Literally, we have to all come together. We have to acknowledge that white privilege does exist. White people, you have privilege. You don't get stopped at a traffic stop because you're white and you don't fear for your safety. Black people do. You can walk in the street and you're not afraid of a white person saying, oh, well, he might threaten me. You can jog without fearing for your life. Ahmaud Arbery, he was literally murdered 3 months ago, and those officers were just held accountable. Because you know why the police arrested him? Because we saw the video. They knew it. We can't jog. We can't have barbecues without the police being called on us. We have Karens that pull out their phone, 911, I'm being threatened by a black person when a black person is just at a park asking them to put their dog on a leash. You guys remember what happened in New York a few weeks ago? A woman literally pretending like a black man was threatening her safety. That's the kind of people we should be calling out. We deserve, you guys can stand up if you want. If you're tired, they deserve to be treated like human beings. Black kids, they deserve to have a future without fearing for their safety. I deserve, as a former refugee, to feel safe in this country. Literally, every day I'm literally at the front line trying to advocate for my people because they're being murdered every single day. This isn't a good life. This is not the American dream that I wanted to come to America and live. This isn't the American dream. This is like a life full of trauma in the US. I'm sick and tired of it. I have family members still living in the refugee camp. They don't even know if they want to come here anymore because they kept seeing all these news feeds about a black person being murdered. Do you guys want people from other countries to come here and feel safe? Then you need to change. You need to change the system that is continuing to oppress minorities. The world is literally laughing at America right now. That is embarrassing. We need to come together and fix these issues. This isn't just about Portland Police, South Portland, all these officers. This is about a systemic and institutional issue that needs to be addressed, and I keep saying that. White people, please acknowledge your privilege. Please hold, when you're at the Thanksgiving dinner, enjoying that turkey, that pie, one of your family members are probably racist. They probably voted for Trump, and they're like, well, all lives matter. Well, if all lives matter, I wouldn't be here today. If all lives matter, racist, they probably voted for Trump, and they're like, well, all lives matter. Well, if all lives matter, I wouldn't be here today.